What's up, guys? It's the end of the month. You know the drill. It's time for some preview for the next month for Counterside. Now, there's some more news on top of it, so I'm honestly pretty excited to talk about all the things that we got today. So let's start. Okay, so first thing first, we are getting episode 9, just like I predicted we would. Very, very happy that we are like keeping the schedule and going fast to try to catch up. Like I said last time, we are getting Awakened Maria as next operator or Awakened operator, and with that, it makes sense that episode 9 would be released, and that's exactly what we were getting. So I'm very happy about that. With that, we're also getting Clarif, which also is a unit that's part in the story, or part of the story. He will be a counterpass unit, which I think on Korea was also a counterpass unit, pretty sure. He is kind of whatever in terms of like strength. So, you know, not that amazing to like build and use, but it's there, right? Like I always remind people, counterpass still worth it, even if you don't care about the unit on the counterpass. Next thing, Titan is getting rearm. I know many people will be excited about that. Me myself, like I'm not a big mech guy, so we'll see. Maybe I'll use it. Probably not. It's like, to me, the most use of it I see is usually in the PvP sphere, which I'm not going into right now. But hey, a lot of people like Titan, so there you go. This rearm is definitely a must-have if you like the unit, or if you're doing PvP. 100% you should be working towards it. So for sure. The next thing we're getting is the new operator replacer Rook. Like I said before, operator's not my thing. If you're not playing PvP, operators are basically meaningless for the most part. You really need like 1 or 2 operators and you're fine PvE wise for pretty much all content. I barely touch them and I'm doing the end game stuff without any issues, and I'm scoring well too. So it's, again, like, it's, you don't need to worry too much about it. This specific operator, from what I read, gives you perfect evasion for 5 seconds for your units, and debuffs hit chance by 30% on enemies. Seems pretty short. I mean, 5 seconds of perfect evasion seems pretty short, and like overall perfect evasion, I don't know how strong that is, since there's few units that just completely ignore it because they have such a high hit rate. So again, like, whatever, operators don't matter to me. And lastly, we are getting event Fragrant Spring, which is just a spring event. I didn't look into what that event exactly has, but we'll get more news later down the line, what the rewards are and what exactly we're getting in it. So I'm expecting similar level of event and rewards to other ones. So, all right, now I want to talk, or take a second to talk about units and our schedule, because this is exciting stuff, okay? I predicted before that we will get caught up to Korean server by the end of this year, and I feel like now I'm even more and more sure of it. To me, the end of the year is the safe bet. I think it might even happen slightly before that, honestly. So like maybe at the end of the vacations or something, at the end of the summer. I honestly think it will happen this year. 100% we should be caught up to Korea. Like, I'll walk you through what the units, like, this is the list of all the units we're missing right now to Korea, SSR units. We also have the Awaken units, but you know, Awaken units they don't really matter, since we'll be like proportionally they will be released alongside the SSR units. So whichever ones you want to look at, it will be the same basically. In terms of the length we need to catch up, right? So I'll look at the SSR units because it will be a little simpler to show it. We can ignore those 5 units right here at the end because we are actually there are Collab units, and we're actually getting Collab, which I'll talk about later in the video. But yeah, those 5 units are Collab units, so we can ignore them from the list. We are getting Klarev, okay? And I'm assuming we are getting Lulu, Biblide, whatever her name is, Warden. Those 3 characters most likely we will be getting in April as well, and I'll explain why later. We already will have Titan out, okay? And we can ignore those 2 because those 2 are also Collab units. So as you can see, there's not that many units in like to catch up to Korea right now. Like after April, we would probably be missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 units, and 4 of those units are rearm units, which are, I feel like, on separate schedule. Like if I'm right about this, next month, so in May, we should be getting the Alex rearm, and probably we'll be getting Rivet rearm as well, since she's a SR unit, not SSR unit. So we might get both rearms at the same time. Wouldn't surprise me. If not, then I'm expecting Alex to be May, then June, right? And then so on and so on. So again, the end of summer seems to be possible. I know Korea will also get more stuff as we go. That's why I said at the end of the year, because to me that's a safe bet. But yeah, we are getting closer and closer to Korea, which is very exciting to me. Like the main thing I want is to get excited about new units and new announcements, but I can't get excited since our region is behind. So when Koreans are getting, as an example, they had Awakened Rosaria trailer, right, on the Origin stream. It's hard to get excited as a global player because you will not have this for months, And then when it comes, it's like, yeah, it's exciting that you're getting it, but it's not as exciting as it was back then, because back then you didn't know that it existed, right? Now, as a global player, it's there, it exists, and you're just waiting, and when it finally comes out, you're like, oh, cool, finally, Awaken Rosaria. It's not, oh, cool, look at this new unit, it's so amazing. You already seen her, probably, you've already watched videos on her, and, when she gets released, it's more of a, oh yeah, finally, she's here, I can finally pull and play. So, like, to me, that's one of the most important things of why I want the servers to be on the same schedule, because then we can all be excited about new units, and we can all, talk like and speculate, oh, will this unit get the Awaken next, or will this Awaken unit be good or bad, that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm excited for, mostly, to not be behind. Like another game I'm playing, Columbus Company, it feels so refreshing to play a game that is just out everywhere, and there's no server that's ahead. Like Limbus Company, if there's news about new character, everyone gets excited because no one is ahead, no one knows. Like it's just, it's out there, new character. We can all band together and talk about what we think, or if we think the character will be strong, and be excited about it. So, like that to me is refreshing. And I'll be honest, I did not see a single game from many games I played. A lot of them have server that's ahead to global or NA server, and I've never seen them close the gap. And by close the gap, I mean just catch up, right? I've never seen them catching up. Like, sure, maybe you decrease how much behind you are, but that's about it. Like, you never got even remotely close to being on the same schedule. But with Counterside, for the first time, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yes, there's actually realistic chance that by the end of this year, we will be on exactly the same patch, with exactly the same unit rosters, and there will be no longer any delay between the servers. To me, that's super important, and I'm really, really excited about it. Alright, so on to the next piece of news. It's the developer notes for the first half of 2023, and they promised us that they will give us some kind of preview of the first half of the year, and there it is. We finally have it. This is on actual English side of blog post, so it's not just Korean one, but the translation on it is a little rough in places. So yeah, well, just bear that in mind, okay? Okay, so the first thing they're talking about is we are getting new co-op battle boss, Tyrant Gigas. This is apparently a combination, or between the Tyrant Sword and Tyrant Armor. It's supposed to be the actual boss, in combination with those two. And other than new co-op boss, because they talked about it some time ago, that they want to do better co-op bosses or new co-op bosses, they are doing exactly what they said. They will be changing how co-op battle works, okay? So they concluded co-op battle function itself is not serving its purpose to its full potential just yet. So what they're doing is they will be renewing the consortium UI, okay, which is great because the consortium or guild UI is horrible, okay? It's really bad. I hate it. And the thing I hate the most in that UI is the co-op battle function, because there's no way for you from the main menu when you're in the game, right? You know, right now, if you log into your account, right out of the get-go, you know exactly if you have attacks left, your tickets on the Gauntlet battle, right? You know how many points you still have left to get, right? You see if you're close the cap or not. You can see if your world branch missions are in progress or are they finished. You can see all of those informations, but you cannot see anything about co-op battle at all. You have no idea. Did you do your attacks? Is it even live? None of it. When you go to your guild stuff, you still don't see anything of it. You actually have to press on the building that's that takes you to the co-op battle, and then you can see if the event is even open, how many attacks you have, and all of that stuff, and when it times out, right? Runs out on the timer. So I'm very excited. I really want this change to fucking happen, because UI, especially for the co-op battle, is horrible. So I want it changed. I want it to be more, there'll be just more clarity of what we're getting, and when the boss battle happens, how much time I have left, how many attacks I have left. I want those informations to be there, immediately visible. I've missed so many co-op battles because I just forget about it, right? It's thing you do once a week, and at least in my guild, I tend to do it towards the end because I'm waiting for people that have worse units and gear to clear out the first 5 levels, and then I can come in and try to one-shot the 6th and 7th level of the boss. But it's hard to do when I just forget about it, and the timer itself is also on the wrong hour. I feel like it's very awkward timing. I don't know why they don't move the timer to be when the game resets. I think it would be so much easier to remember that, oh, I need to do my co-op battle attacks because reset is coming. I feel like everything should be tied to that reset timer of the dailies, because then you will be remembering, okay, what did I need before reset happens. But that's just me. Maybe people feel differently about it, or maybe they cannot do it because they need to calculate scores and they need time for that, and that's why. I don't know what the reason is, but I would like it to be visible, and I would like it to be, hopefully, when the daily resets, okay? Another thing they're adding to the co-op battles themselves is the fact that we will be able to finally do the practice run without any penalties, which is big, because there's no way to test our team right now, okay? So if you want to test a new team, or you want to remove some things or optimize some things to do the one-shot, there's not really a tool for it. You have to do your 2 attacks in a week, and after that, you're out of luck. So if your comp didn't work, then see you next week. And by that time, you might forget about like what your plans were, or what you were trying to change or do, or anything like that. So yes, the practice mode is necessary. I would like it to have a practice mode in the bosses as well, the raid bosses. I'm not sure if there are any right now. I don't think so, but it would be nice to be able to do the practice runs against a specific level of the boss. So it would be additional menu, and you can choose, I want to do practice run against 110 Britra, or 130 Britra, or 150, or I want to do the other one, inhibitor, 110, 130, 150, right, 90, whatever. I think that should be an option, and no matter which season of the raid boss is on right now, you should be able to choose between either of those two, right? So if they add this feature to the co-op battle, maybe they will add similar feature to the raid boss. There is a chance. So features will be added at the end of the April, so we have about a month before we get all that stuff. Alright, on to the big news. For some people, maybe not everyone, Guilty Gear collaboration will be on global server. So if you like Guilty Gear and you are envious of other servers having them, well, fear not, global is getting them in June. Okay, so we are getting the collab in June. Now, I myself am not a big fan of Guilty Gear. Like, I don't really care much, but I do care about what they're trying to do with collabs overall. So maybe you missed it because you looked at the Guilty Gear and you were excited about it, and you didn't read clearly. You weren't like paying attention to what they're saying. But they sneak here, like, it's just a little bit, like, you know, like one of the things in the sentence, they sneak it right here, that they are planning to alter the method of acquiring the collab units, which means maybe we won't even have to pull on them, okay? We don't know exactly what they're trying to say here. Like, we don't know if they're saying, oh, some units will be, you will have to pull, and some of them you can acquire, or what. Like, it's very vague. Also, they're saying we are planning to alter. So I would love if they could just say, hey, you don't have to save resources because there will be alternate method of getting those units just through playtime, or just through playing the collaboration, which I think might happen. Like, I think that's what they will be aiming for. We'll see if that will be the case or not, but I really hope so. I don't like when collabs just, you know, pop out of nowhere and suddenly you have no resources to summon, but you kind of have to because it's collab and it's limited, and after the collab is done, you wouldn't be able to pull on them, and who knows if this is getting a rerun at some point. Like, no one knows, and it feels bad if you skip. So it would be nice if they did come out and said, like, yeah, you don't have to save, because right now I cannot tell you don't save. I have to tell you save resources for the collab, just in case, because we just don't know exactly what they will do with the collab itself. So, you know, up to you if you want to save or not. I'm hopeful that this will be a method of just playing the collab itself. Like, to me, it makes the most sense and it's in their best interest to make a collab where you can acquire those characters by just playing with the event itself, okay? Like, to me, it makes sense because people that, like, if you have those units just to be pulled on, right, on the banners, I feel like many people will log in, pull on those units, and then they will log out, and then they will not really, there's no incentive to come back and play the game, right? Like, even if there are, like, events, like event shop, and there's some rewards, you know, many people can say, oh, whatever, it looks like other events, and they're every month, who cares? Or those materials don't mean much to me, or, you know, they dumped most of their energy they had stored and gotten, like, the most important stuff from the shop, and they're done, right? Like, that, to me, that could happen. And then they don't come back. But if you make it so you have to actually play the content to acquire those characters, maybe you, like, farming the stages for them, I feel like that is a win-win for both collaboration and the game itself, because it forces people, if you want those characters, you don't want to miss out, well, come back to play tomorrow, come back to play the next day, come back to play the next day. And so you will have the incentive to come back and actually play in the event itself to get all of those characters so you don't miss out. So to me, that makes more sense than just like, oh, here's the banner and that's that, right? But that's my opinion on it. We'll see what they will do. Another thing I can mention is it's not just a rerun of Collab. We are getting those 5 units, but also, since they're rerunning it on Korea, they wanted to make it more exciting. Everyone is also getting a new unit, so overall, on global, we'll have 6 units that we'll be able to get in the Guilty Gear collaboration. So 5 of the units that are already out on Korea, but also 1 new one for all the servers. So there's also the new shiny thing people can get excited for. Okay, it's not just the regular rerun stuff that were already out in Korea. All right, on to the next things. The like most of the next things points here are very whatever for the most part, so I'll go quickly through them. The jukebox system, they are basically changing it, so jukebox system will now display you the requisites to acquire the specific background music. Doesn't really matter. I don't know who fucking cares about this, I'll be honest. If you're hunting for this, then sure, but to me it was only like, okay, I can put on some nicer music in my lobby or something. That doesn't fucking matter. Policies on buffs and debuffs, they're just changing the clarity on how debuff resistance work. They are changing the naming of it, instead of debuff resistance to status effect resistance, okay? And they want to make it more clearly which debuffs are affected by it. So because stuff like stun, for example, is not influenced for the nullified debuff or debuff effect. So they're just basically making it more clear which debuffs work in what way, which ones are countered, which ones are not countered, stuff like that. So just more clarity in terms of the debuffs and buffs overall. So okay, that's cool. The next thing, the Gauntlet event mode. So they are adding the new Gauntlet system where you don't have league downgrades, okay? I don't know if there will be even ranking. Probably there will be, but no downgrades in any way. And in that mode, you don't have gear stats applied to any character, okay? So I'm assuming all the characters you're using are just naked in terms of gear, right? So maxed out skills, no gear, and go. That to me is the new mode, which I in a way I understand the direction they're trying to take with this one, more casual, so everyone can experience kind of PvP, right? Against other players, but without gear. So this should be really good for new players, since you'll be able to actually play against other people, even if you have 0 gear, right? You will be on the same level. But now my question is, like, what about the ships? What about the imprints on the ships or imprints on the unit? Are all those things disabled? Is this like just preset strength on all characters and ships, and you choose from that? Like, do you have access to all of the ships in the game, or do you have to have it crafted? Like, those kind of things are a question to me, like what exactly they're doing. And another worry I have is some characters I feel like just will not work well without gear, okay? Because there are some characters that like their whole kit relies on having a lot of auto attacks, for example, right? So you need that extra attack speed, because otherwise your character never gets even close to doing enough auto attacks to get their stuff off. So I don't know. I'm not big on this mode. I don't think it will do that well. I think it might be a cool thing for new players to play around with units and feel like they're, playing on even ground. But I don't know. There's just many negatives I see with this system. Units not just being created equal without gear, I feel like is one thing. So are you going to buff and nerf units based on that? Like, are you going to balance in some way this Gauntlet event stuff or not? Like, it's very hard to say for me. So I don't know. Like, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. Maybe this mode will be okay. It's supposed to be like more like stress-free Gauntlet, okay? So we'll see. But I have my doubts. Plus you're splitting player base too, right? Right now people are either forced to do PvP or they just don't interact at all. With this system, I feel like maybe some people just straight up, jump off the PvP and they play this instead. So now queue times and players that are engaging in PvP will be even less, which that's bad. Like, it's already a problem for PvP. Like, you're fighting people that are way above you, since there's not that many players playing PvP, from what I saw and heard. And now you will split player base even more. So I don't know. We'll see how it works out. Hopefully it's okay, but I have my doubts on it. Alright, the next thing. They're doing some adjustments to the league downgrades, okay, and victory points. So in terms of victory points, they are how they said it here. They're adjust, okay. We plan to adjust the required victory points to advance from one league to another. So we don't know if that means you need more points now to go into the league or less points. We don't know exactly what they mean by adjust. Are they making it easier or harder to get to specific ranks? No idea. The other thing is changing the league downgrade stuff. So before, they're saying that limited to Master League was the skin, right? And in the Masters, when you were in the Masters, you did not get demoted at this start of the season. So you remained in that league, and so you will also get the skin, right? Without doing any work. I guess that's a problem for them, because they're saying that they starting from the sincere season which starts in June, all people that are in Masters will also get demoted when the season resets, okay? So I'm assuming Masters get demoted to maybe diamond or something. Like, I don't know how low you get demoted, but diamond already has the skin, I think. So I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to do here with this change. We'll just have to see what exactly they're doing. Maybe they will be moving the skin higher or something. We'll see. Okay, another big thing that's coming is actually very soon, mid-April, so in 2 weeks. Maybe we hear something before that, but in 2 weeks we will have some balance, unit balance, okay? So they are gathering data right now from, or probably now and before that, they were gathering data from Platinum League and above in the ranked system, and they were looking at win rates, number of bans, the squads, so what units were being used, and stuff like that. And based on that, they will be doing some balancing in the mid-April of 2023. Now, this to me sounds more like a PvP balance, not necessarily PvE balance, but we'll see if some skills are adjusted. It might be also better or worse for PvE at the same time. So, yeah, so we'll see. I'm interested what units will get touched, and nerfed and buffed potentially. I also wonder if they will be buffing or nerfing primarily. So, okay, on to the next thing, collection renewal. They are adding new system in August, so that's far away. Okay, that's end of the summer. They're adding new system where you will be able to see bits and pieces of information that were before scattered in the game, but now it will be in one place. So you will be able to see more detailed information, visual aids such as cutscene and stuff like that for the character. I'm assuming this is just like one place where you can look at the character and information about them, skins, like maybe story pieces on them, maybe like music attached to those characters, the cut-ins of skills and stuff. So I'm assuming this will be more in-depth, more information. If you're interested in one specific character, this is the place you would go to and read about the character and see like what side story it's in, or maybe there's like a summary of side story and like summary of what the role is and stuff like that. So we'll see. To me, this sounds more like a lore kind of thing for characters. So yeah, it might be cool. It might be cool. Not against that at all. Okay, last thing. We're getting the substreams. We're getting the new side stories in the global server at the start of August. Okay, or until the start of August. So basically, until August, like throughout this period of time, those are the substreams we'll be getting. We're getting the Moonless Night, Iron Night, Free to Free, and Neverland, Nevermore. Now, from what I looked at on the Korean server, the Moonless Night side story is for Lulu character, okay? The Iron Knight most likely is for the Warden / Kyrian, okay? The Free to Free is for Biblida and Claudia. Well, from new characters, the Biblida, whatever her fucking name. I hate the name of this character. I have no idea how to pronounce it, okay? And then Neverland Nevermore is obviously the Awakened Sigma side story. So until August, we'll be getting all of those. And again, like I said, it should be covering all those 3 characters in like future months. So I think we'll have them very, very soon out on the global server. Okay, so this is why I thought of that. yeah, other than that, I'm pretty excited. Again, main story wise, we're getting the episode 9 very soon, and we are only 2 episodes behind. Okay, so the only 2 episodes we'll be missing is episode 9.5. Okay, so the second part, and episode 10. And in terms of main story, we'll be caught up to Korea. So we're only 2 main stories away from being caught up, and unit wise, like I showed you, we're not far away. So brace yourselves, because I'm telling you, by the end of this year, we'll be on the same place with Korean server. Okay, so that's it from me. I wanted to talk about it. So there's the video in depth. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I don't have anything else to say. I will see you guys next time whenever we get some more news about Counterside. Peace.